After 1,000+ trades over 3 years, I have come to an uncomfortable realization that I still overtrade from time to time, and it has cost me a lot. Now, you guys might be wondering, well, the guy is a profitable trader and so on, and he seems to be on a journey. Yes, I am on a journey, but I also want you guys to remember that I am a break-even trader. As I have told you guys previously, that it's not been more than a year since I have become profitable, and that has its own consequences because over this last year, right? I mean, from the starting of 2026, I have come to a few realizations. One is that I do overtrade, and that's the brutal and honest reality that I must accept. So, this is one of the reasons why I'm making this video. I overtrade from time to time. I do not do it every day, but there are days when I overtrade from time to time. And upon realizing and analyzing that I overtrade, I found out that the reason that I often get into overtrading is because of frustration, and it's mostly not because of trading. It's because of the outside environment that sometimes I get into overtrading. Over these past 3 years, right, I have come to a realization that trading, that your mindset for trading and your personal life both needs to be in a stable momentum in order for you to have a successful trading career. If even one of them is out of balance, uh, both of these, both your personal life and your trading journey is going to be affected by it, and it's not going to end well either way. So over the past 3 years, I have come to realization that no matter how much efforts I put into trading, it's going to always be the same if my personal life is not fixed. And no matter how much efforts I put into my personal life, it's the same for trading as well. Both need to be in a sync. Oftentimes, right, there are people who go around saying you need to be extreme into either your personal life or trading. Yes, I'm not denying that part. There is a part of it that is actually true. You need to get extreme. You need to choose. But that is until you figure out that you have made it work. You have finally made trading work for you. Once you have figured out that, right, you need to take a step back. You need to analyze yourself. You need to find out the mistakes that you have done over the past, and that is how I did it. So from personal experience, right, I learned that for the first 3 years, I was all in. I was there 24 hours, 365 days, backtesting, doing real market data, thinking about trading. It was all about trading. My entire mind was filled with trading. And going to that certain level of extreme showed me what is actually my level and where I should be, so that I have the correct amount of energy as well as concentration to actually take a proper trade over the day. I found out that if, say, I stressed out too much during the day with other tasks as well as too much tasks that take up my mental space, my trading day gets affected. The time zone that I trade, right, is from 9:30 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And since I'm from a different country, for me, it's evening. The time zone, right, the 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. EST is evening for me. And I hope you guys realize that when it's evening, from morning to evening, you do a lot of tasks, both tasks that are necessary and that you do not have a choice in, and that ultimately drains your energy. So by almost the end of the day, right, in the evening part, you have very little energy and very little concentration to do stuff. When it's in the morning, you have full energy. You're like, you want to go and trade, take a TP and stuff, but by the evening you're tired. And I think what I came to understand is that I had to preserve my energy. I had to preserve my energy so I could actually get a proper trade and enter a proper setup. Otherwise, what I found out was that after analyzing, I overtraded. I didn't notice a lot of things I usually noticed in a calm mind. For example, right, the following week's trade, if you guys have seen, you guys will be seeing my review session. So you guys will find out that this week I made a lot of mistakes. I was in a lot of hurry and some things led to another, and automatically I hit SL for most of this week. I just had one profitable trade. Most of them hit my stops. I knew the entry was strong and I entered anyways because I just wanted to get it over with. So that was the point. That is the point where you end up when you stress out yourself for the rest of your day. And that is something I realized. What I would say is that when you're starting off, right, give it your all. Go 24 bar 7. Push it to the max. Find your limits first. Once you've found that limit, right, then take a break, adjust yourself. And let me tell you, adjusting is something it's very hard to do. And personally, for me, it's perhaps the hardest thing because I'm the type of person who constantly likes to be in some way or other work so that I feel like I keep doing something that helps me progress. Before I came to trading, I was into a lot of other stuff, entrepreneurial based, and so since I was busy the whole day around, and then when I stepped into trading, it was quite the complete opposite. After I figured out what is the best timing and how I should prioritize myself. Once I figured that part out, it became even harder for me because I I'm not the type of person that can sit still. To be honest, I cannot sit still. I need to constantly be engaged in some or other form of work, and I try to keep myself engaged. But ultimately, that also results in exhaustion and stress, which is not good for trading. So I hope you guys see the parallels between these two. So I am still there. Uh, I'm still having that kind of pressure where I'm not able to give it my all, but I have to make sure I conserve enough amount of energy so I can trade. I can place a good trade. I can understand the market. My mental space is basically free. So I am stuck in between these two. I am still figuring out the best way to actually measure and calculate my day because I was the type of person who takes everything and does everything. So right now it's like I'm categorizing stuff. Say for example, back testing. Previously I used to do a month of back testing in a day, but right now I have stopped it. I have come to realization that it's not going to be worth it because by the end of the day, before I start my actual trading, I get exhausted. There's no mental space left for me. I cannot see, I cannot read the market properly. And so I have taken a step back. I have cut it down to somewhere like 1 week or 3 days, just 3 days a trade. But the problem with that is time, and I have a lot of time in my hand at this moment right now, and I am finding ways to get engaged. I read some books now and then. I watch some contents. I learn to create more content. I do some editing. You guys know, since this is a YouTube, right? So I try to keep myself busy and try to reduce my mental usage, but make sure that I am somewhere engaged in quite a proper amount of time over the period of the day so that I don't actually feel like I'm unproductive. And that is something that's actually been bothering me. The main problem, right, is that with overtrading, I found out that these urges to overtrade, regardless of how you are, it doesn't go away. Say you take an SL for the day. When you take an SL for the day, you automatically get stressed even more. And with the entire day having gone by, say, somewhat not very good, it is more you are more, and I was more prone to also take into another trade, and I think that is where I often blew my accounts in the past. But now that I have come to a realization that no matter how stressed I get, it is better to stop at one trade than go ahead and take three say about 3% or 4%, 5% loss per day. I think I would just sit still at 1% so that I can recover it the next day. with an extra point 5 or 1% profit as well. So I would be making around 3 to 4% profit in a day, cover my losses and have an extra profit in it. That is more proper. That is more proper, and I feel that I have come to that understanding. But it took me 3 years to come to that understanding after taking over 1,000 trades. And I've come, I now know and realize that it's ultimately how you manage your day. Because once you start managing your day, right, you automatically get aligned. And that's something that it's took me 3 years, which I'm not very proud of, but better now than later, I guess. The other things that I wanted to talk about over trading is people, right? See, I know that overtrading can get in your way sometime, and the worst part is that even though you get a good setup for the day and the market is out there, sometimes the market is not good. You have to accept the fact, and there has been a lot of days where, especially in the Trump markets, a lot of days where the market is seems good, but it's bigged out a lot that your SL gets taken first and then the market goes for your TP. There's nothing to do about that. You just have to accept the fact, go on to the next day. And I know that it's going to be tough, but that's just how the career is. That's just how trading is. Ultimately, you have to make a few sacrifices so that you can actually earn some profits, a good amount of profits, and you have to accept losses as well as profits. That's the game. That's the entire game, and there's nothing actually anyone can do about it. After a lot of trades, right? I mean, it's been 1,000 trades over 3 years. I also came to realize that after my first payout, right? And I don't know if everyone has gone through this phase or something, but I did notice that after my first payout, I I had the week. I had not a week, actually a month where I was not able to trade properly. It was like a phase where athletes enter. You do it once, and once you have done it and you plan to do it the second time, the question strikes in your mind that, okay, I did it once. Now, how do I do it again? It's that kind of phase that I was in after my first payout, and it took me a while, right, to again go through this stuff, rebuild myself. I don't know, I don't know what kind of logic it is, but I just felt I experienced it and I wanted to share it with you guys. And if you guys, right, had similar experiences, just comment down below. I'll take a look at it and we'll have a discussion about it. But that that phase, right, also led me to a slight over trading because at that point after my first payout, I don't know if it was because I was scared or if I was having so much happiness that I actually forgot to trade. But the point is that during that phase, right, during that 1 month period of time, I almost blew my account because I had this question lingering in my mind again and again and again. Okay, you did it once. How do you do it again? And I think if any one of you guys have been stuck in that phase, just know that don't overtrade. Overtrading doesn't help in that phase. Just backtest, do a good amount of backtesting, stay calm during the actual market session, and just take trades and follow your rules. That is a tip that I would give out because I personally experienced this and it was quite a tough phase for me to get out of. But eventually I did get out of it, and I think that I wanted to share it with you guys as well. There has been a lot of things that I have been planning and going through for my entire year. I mean, I passed my funded accounts, I got my first payout. I have a set of quarterly goals as well that I'm wishing to complete and fulfill each quarter. I am happy to share that my first quarter goals have been achieved, every single one of them. So let's see how this year overall progresses. I hope that you guys also have some form of quarterly goals or weekly goals or monthly, any form of goals. I think that it would really help you guys if you had a goal that you push towards, because that would automatically help you get better in trading, because you would start understanding the fact that in order to achieve your goals you need to get better yourself first. And the only way to get better is to understand that you have to take a step back, understand what's going on, analyze it, and then move forward. And that's what I did. And right now my first quarter goals, right, have been good enough. I achieved every single one of them, and my second quarter goals are going well. I think before the end of June, we'll know what is going to happen. And I most probably think that I will achieve every single one of them. But there might be a few exceptions for my year goals. Let's see how this progresses over the entire year. I'm actually very eager to know how this year has went for me, because over the past few years there has been a lot of goals that I was not able to achieve, and that kind of affected me. But you know, this year has been great, 2026 my year, and I'm very confident that I will actually make more progress than any years. That that I think is primarily because of the payouts that I have been taking this year, starting this year. And I hope that you guys as well have a great quarter, great year ahead. April, it's around April, so I think this is where the financial year ends as well. So happy new year to every single trader out there.